Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of The Weigh-In. Today we're here to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. So, fantastic movie. Everybody in the world was excited to go see this movie because apparently since Tuesday it's made $580 million. So that's a huge success for the company, Sony Marvel. But the movie, without a doubt, it exceeded all my expectations. I'm going to tell you straight up, I was not a huge fan of Homecoming when it was in production. After I seen Homecoming, I was like, okay, this is a very good movie. But going in, I'm like, do we really need another Spider-Man movie? But I like the kid, Tom Holland. He's tough. I like what Sony did. I like the integration with the Marvel characters. It was awesome. But this movie right here and this review right here is going to be heavy spoilers. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this review. So everybody know the spoilers are strong with this one. So the movie opens up with Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard. So we hear that playing, we don't see anything, and then we see the pictures of the fallen Avengers. Iron Man, Black Widow, even Captain America is lumped in. So I don't know what exactly that means. I guess we'll find out in later Marvel movies if they're technically saying that he died. This movie also takes place 8 months after the events of End Game. So I thought that was interesting too. But you got Peter. He's back in high school. They had to actually complete the years, or at least the freshman year. They had to complete the rest of the months that they have for school. So with that, they get to go on a senior trip. So the senior trip is to Europe. All Peter wants to do is get with MJ, who is, I guess her name is Michelle Jones. But he wants to get with MJ. He wants to go on this trip. He wants to buy her something nice. He's got the plan. He's talking to Ned. He's like, this is going to work. He gets a call from Nick Fury. Nick Fury has a big operation in Europe, and he's like, Spider-Man, you're going to Europe, I need you. So he's like, no, I'm not going there. Actually, I think he ghosted. Matter of fact, he didn't even talk to Nick Fury. He ghosted Nick Fury. That comes a little bit later. But they get to Europe. Everything is fine so far. All of a sudden, there's these elemental creatures that start popping up. And there's this mysterious, actually, a villain who's posing, as a hero, Mysterio, Quentin Beck. He's the one that's fighting these villains, but he can't do it alone. So Nick Fury enlists the help of the young Peter Parker to help Mysterio because the fate of the world is on the line with these creatures. Yeah. So with that, it's funny. Peter gets a package from Tony. So the package is a pair of sunglasses. In it, there's a little card that says, these should go to the next Iron Man. And it's Edith on the card. So Peter, he puts on the glasses and he finds out the glasses are AI that control like this whole substation out in space that has all these weaponized drones on it. So this is a lot of responsibility for the kid. So after they finally wrap everything up with all the monsters and Quentin Beck has gained the young Peter Parker's like his confidence that he's a good guy. And for all that we know at this moment, Quentin Beck is a good guy. Peter says, hey, I'm not the next Iron Man. I'm going to give these glasses to you. So, with that, all of this power, all of this destructive force has just been given to the villain by the hero. So now you're going like, oh my God. So, after that, you find out everything is a ruse. The little place that they were at, having this conversation, having this heart-to-heart, was an old, burned-down building. And then you see the true power of Mysterio. Like everything in his arsenal, everything he's about is illusion and misdirection. Even the things that he says. It was all a plot to get these glasses. So once he has these glasses, his whole master plan is to cause this destructive disaster and for him to be the hero. And for the world to look at him as a hero. So Spider-Man ends up finding out because a piece of Mysterio's tech gets left behind. It gets found by MJ, and she tells Peter like, "Hey, I know you're Spider-Man." She shows him a piece of the tech. They figure out that Mysterio's a bad guy. So now the third act becomes Peter going after Mysterio to finally, get the glasses back and finally reclaim his actual I want to be a superhero. Like, so he's rejuvenated. He gets that energy back, like he wants to be Spider-Man again. He understands the great responsibility that comes with the title. So he's going down, he's tracking down Mysterio. They have the big supervillain fight. And by the way, what they shot with this was amazing. Like, you have no idea how well they did Mysterio. Like, they really crushed it. So, with that being said, Mysterio ends up dying from like the drone strike that he tried to impose to kill Peter, and then like, you know, the end of it, Peter saves the day. He meets up with MJ. Everything is good. So bringing it back, now that peace has been restored, the kids, Spider-Man, everybody's going back home to America. We get back to America, and what do we have? We have a young Peter Parker once again going to pick up MJ. So like, we got the classic comic book scene right there where he's taking her swinging for the first time. I got chills. It was amazing. So he gets to a point where he drops her off, and she's like, yo, I can't do this again. That's crazy. We get a news flash on the teleprompter, like it's like New York City, like downtown Times Square. What do we see? It's an edited version of clips that were taken between the Mysterio and Spider-Man final fight, and it's edited to make Spider-Man look like the villain. Like he killed Mysterio out of jealousy, and now he's the menace. Not only do we get that, which is a classic Spider-Man issue that he has to deal with, who presents this information? J.J. Jameson, the one and only J.K. Rowling's back to reprise the role. Amazing. I got chills in the theater. Everybody was screaming. So that pretty much sets up the first mid-credit scene. Then there's a final end-credit scene. So you have Nick Fury, Maria Hill, they're driving around, they're talking. Now, by the way, through this whole movie, Nick Fury seemed a little bit off. What do you know? They're Skrulls. They're the Skrulls from the Captain Marvel movie. So they're the husband and wife. So they were working for Nick Fury all this time. Nick Fury is on the Sword spaceship. We'll come out with an episode explaining Sword and all of that. But all of that opens up intergalactic tales, which could mean Galactus, which could mean a whole list of things. So it's going to be amazing. So a few more points that I wanted to touch on. One last thing. This movie is going to gross over $1 billion, guaranteed, at some point. Also, with this movie, and we have another Sinister Six villain, we gotta have a Sinister Six movie coming at some point. And for a lot of people that's been discussing this online, I do not think that we're gonna get an Uncle Ben cameo or scene at all in this movie. I think Tony Stark played the Uncle Ben type of father figure role, and Marvel Sony is just going to go with that. So I do not think that we're going to get an Uncle Ben. And I'm still pulling for Tobey Maguire to be hired or be cast as Uncle Ben, because that would be amazing. Other than that, the franchise is alive and well, and like, I can't wait. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going back to see it again. Everybody, thank you very much for showing up. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the weigh-in.